What's going on, everybody? It's Q Jackson, host of BLK Talk. Look, I was over here preparing for another amazing episode, but look, I need you guys to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, the like button, and the notification bell so that you guys don't miss any of our amazing conversations. Have a new episode coming to you in 5, 4, 3, 2. What's going on, everybody? It's Q Jackson, host of BLK Talk, and I'm back with another amazing episode and a very special guest. So today's guest is the one, the only, Mr. Tony Talks. You guys know him from social media. He's done so many amazing things, so many amazing characters, and he recently released his first project on Revry TV. So guess what? We're going to talk to Tony today about his journey, the musical, and what inspires him. Tony, welcome to BLK Talk.
Oh, well, thank you. I am honored to be here.
You know what? I think I'm honored to have you because a few weeks ago, when I came to your event, I tried to make you remember or jog your memory.
We're going straight there?
I tried to jog your memory a little bit, but, you know, I've been seeing you a lot over the past few weeks, and you're here now. We've made this happen. And I'm excited to talk to you because I've seen your musical. I've seen the support that you've received. And I've wanted to have this conversation for a very long time. When I see people who are doing amazing things in the community and for themselves, you know, it inspires me to want to have conversations to share with those people out there who need the encouragement. Because I'm sure you have a story that other people can connect to.
Well, I think I do. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully we can get to that aspect of my life.
Well, let's get right into it. So, who is Tony Talk? Well, first, who is Antonio?
And we're getting deep. Okay.
Let's go for it.
Yeah, so Antonio is just a really awesome guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm really chill. I'm real nice. I would say that I'm very different from the characters that I play. But yeah, I'm just a chill, motivated, just trying to make some kind of change within the world kind of guy.
So where are you from?
Virginia. I'm from Fairfax, Virginia.
Where is that?
You know what's crazy? I couldn't tell you. I have no idea.
Oh.
But I do know that it's around, I know it's near Richmond, I think. But people who live in Fairfax, you know, I'm not, you know, trying to poorly represent. But yeah, I mean, Fairfax. We moved around a lot. So we moved from Fairfax to Silver Spring, Maryland, and then it was Woodbridge, Virginia, and then back and forth, and then the last stop was Georgia.
Is it some type of like government background, possibly?
No, they weren't in the military, nothing like that. But it's just my mom and dad, they just like to move. I have no idea. I didn't really, you know, I don't remember a lot of my childhood, if I'm being honest with you. So like, I don't really remember what the reason for that was.
Maybe you might have to ask them. You know, if that's something that
exactly. Out of all the questions, that was the one that I was like, okay, I'll just make up something. I don't really know.
I get you. But you started in Virginia, but now you landed in one of the most creative cities in the world, Atlanta.
Yes.
And I'm assuming in Atlanta is where Tony Talks was birthed.
Yes, I would say, because when I came to, well, actually, it wasn't Atlanta, it was Villarica. So, I know, right? No, let me tell you, literally, my parents made it seem like we were moving to Atlanta, so I'm looking for city and all that stuff, and, you know, my disappointment when we got to Villarica. But that is where I started recording little music videos and stuff like that I never posted. It was just something to, I guess, like, express myself and whatnot, but that's truly where the birth of Tony Talks was. And then fast forward, wigs got incorporated and, you know, different cameras and stuff like that.
So you've always been inspired by music and you've always been some sort of creative. So like, tell us about the Antonio or the Tony in high school, middle school.
So, you know what's crazy? So my family nickname is TJ, right? For Tony Jr. And what I would do is sometimes, like, because we moved around a lot. So every school I went to, I would kind of reinvent myself. So freshman year, it was TJ. And then junior year, it was Antonio when I went to a different school. And I would just try to figure out, like, who I wanted to be or whatnot, I had a huge problem with authority. But like, teachers and all that stuff. But I wasn't like a bad kid.
I was about to say, don't let me find out you were the
No. My sister was. My sister was fighting everybody. Oh. But I always went to school with family. I never went by myself. So it was either my sisters or my cousins. It was always with family. But I was the chill one who every now and then had an argument with a teacher. But other than that, I never really got into fights. I've only been in 3 fights my entire life. I was just a chill kind of guy. Like
with a little spice.
With a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Not so much that you'll start choking, but like just a little bit of spice.
I mean, going back and forth with the teachers now.
I know, it's crazy. I just don't like being told what to do by people who are supposed to tell me what to do. And it's just
like you said, it's a problem with authority. I get it.
Exactly.
So in school, you became this creative, and it transitioned into adulthood and, to where you are now.
Yeah.
So when did you get to the point where you realized, like, you know what? I'm going to start incorporating those wigs. I'm going to take what I've been doing to another level, and I'm going to actually take the chance to put it out there to the world for them to see and judge.
Right. So I think that all happened because, like, for example, me and my family, every Sunday we would watch Family Guy, right? Every time there was a new episode, and I promise I'm going somewhere with this. But we would watch Family Guy every Sunday, and the feeling that I would get from watching that was crazy because I felt like nothing was wrong in the world. Like, if I always had bad grades. So, while I was in school, I was like, okay, well, I'm not thinking about the grades. I'm not thinking about what my sister's doing, what fight she got in. Mm-hmm. It's truly just everyone's laughing, in this moment with Family Guy or whatnot. So what I wanted to do is incorporate that feeling or share that feeling with the rest of the world in some form or fashion. Did I think my first few videos would go big? Absolutely not. Because they were very cringy and ridiculous. But I was just passionate. I wasn't thinking about who would judge me or anything like that. And I'm so grateful that I did have that mindset. But yeah, then I wasn't really caring at the time. I was just like, I'm going to post it and we're just going to see what happens. And then people at my school started recognizing me. And then I got really embarrassed. And I was like, okay, no, I'm starting to lock some of these videos up. And then from that point on, I just forced myself to have the courage to continue it.
So have you always been that person? And the reason that I ask is, like, for me and a lot of people I know, before we decide to do something, we're kind of analyzing the situation and we're looking at different people that we may know and, putting ourselves in the mindset of what other people may think. That's an issue that a lot of us have.
Yeah.
But, you said that you didn't necessarily experience that. But have you always been that type of person where you're just like, I'm going to be who I am and what other people say don't really matter?
No, and I don't feel like nobody's like that. You know what I'm saying? You will have so many people that erase that part of their lives and say, I've always been this confident or I've always been this, da-da-da-da. But even now, I'd be struggling with certain things. David knows about it. You know what I'm saying? It's normal. It's human. And I feel like when you accept that, that's when the real confidence comes in. You know what I'm saying? Like, my videos and my content is weird. You know what I'm saying? It's fun, but it's weird at the end of the day. And I've embraced that. And I think that is what has made me unapologetic about posting things. Like, to answer your question though, no, it's not always been like that. I would post stuff and then just scream internally and be like, I don't know. And it wasn't for like people at school or strangers. It was because of my family. I didn't want them to see it. I was like, I don't know these other people, so I don't care. But my family, I have to come home to them. You know what I'm saying? I have to see them every single time I wake up. So I was like, hopefully they don't see me playing in these wigs and all that stuff. But they came around, and so did the world.
So for you, when it got to that place after you've put out, a few videos here and there, that your family got the opportunity to see them, and then you guys finally had those conversations. Like, how was that for you? Was it like a freeing feeling?
It was awkward because I remember the first time I told because I wasn't posting none of my stuff on Facebook because that's where all
where all the family is.
Yeah, that's where all the family is. So I was like trying to avoid that. But I was like, there's a whole nother audience on Facebook. So, why am I limiting myself because of like an insecurity almost? Mm-hmm. So I told my mom and I was like, I don't know if you know, but like I'm doing like these little things on the internet. And then she asked, was it porn at first? And I was just like, no, like it's not that. But that's what made it weird. But I, after telling her that it was, wig wearing characters and she wasn't, it wasn't as bad as what I thought it was. You know what I'm saying? And from that point on, the rest of the family just hopped on because they had no choice. The way I see it is like, if I'm unapologetic about what I do, it's either you choose to accept it or you don't. You know what I'm saying? And with my family, it was just like okay, like I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying? It's whether you come with me or you just watch me, but you're going to see me regardless. So you might as well just hop on it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And they ended up doing it for the most part. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
So what I want to know, when they saw you in the wigs, was there a conversation surrounding sexuality at the time, or was that something that you guys had already discussed?
Yeah, that was already discussed. Okay. Yeah, I was like, this is not going to be my way of coming out. You know what I'm saying? But it, which is crazy because, long story short, the coming out story was because I found love and all this craziness. And I was trying to be DL, but that didn't work for me because I'm a terrible liar. So I was falling in love, and then I was like, okay, I have to just tell it. So my mom called me into a room and was like, is this the new guy? And I was like, what do you mean new guy? And because she saw I was dating some guy or whatever. And I was like, what do you mean new guy? Because I've only dated one guy. You know what I'm saying? But she just assumed I was out just sleeping around, I guess. And that was me like coming out. So luckily I had a decent story. It wasn't nothing that was like traumatic. But yeah, it wasn't no grand. They came in after they saw that I was confident in what I was doing. So it wasn't like a big, like, please accept me because I'm doing this. It's like, they were the ones that were late. You know what I'm saying? The world already came to me, and then they came after.
So what I want to know, prior to having the conversations and getting to a place where you were comfortable with yourself, were there ever moments where you sat there and you were thinking about what your family would say, if they would judge you, if they would accept you?
Not regarding the videos.
Oh, no, the sexuality.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, yeah. Well, yeah, you never know, but my sister's gay. So it was just, and I'm not saying I made it any better because, girls, it's kind of okay to be gay.
Yeah,
it's a whole thing. But no, I mean, yeah, I was thinking like, will they accept me and all that stuff? But I was also in love. I have this mindset where love is like on top of everything in the world. And sometimes I get like distracted by that. So like at that time, I was happy and I was in love and I wasn't thinking like, will you accept me, because I got somebody that loves me, so I don't really care. You know what I'm saying? So at that time, I was fortunate enough to have the mindset of like, I don't care right now. You know what I'm saying? It's either you accept me or you don't. But luckily they did. So I didn't have to experience the I don't accept you. There are some people in my family that just are crazy. But, because of my success, they haven't really said anything to me. So
they're supportive of the person,
yes.
The brand, the influencer.
Yeah.
Even if the other part they may not have fully accepted yet.
Yeah, and it's so weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was so weird when I kind of put two and two together. But there's so much love in the world to focus on the people that don't know how to. So I just don't pay attention to it. And they still show up. I'll be damned if they try to disrespect me. So it's just like we all see each other. You know what I'm saying? We're not trying to, there's no disrespect anywhere. It's like it's okay if you don't like me. I don't expect everybody to like me. But, just keep it cute. You know what I'm saying? So
I know that's right. Now, speaking of love, once you were releasing videos and videos and videos, when did you get to that place where you realized, like, damn, they actually love what I'm doing, and it's going to encourage me to keep doing more and keep pushing the boundaries?
Yeah, so I was praying a lot before like all this happened, right? And so I'm very dramatic. So I was headed to work and I was listening to some sad music because, setting the scene for myself, I guess. But I was listening to sad music and praying and like crying and all this stuff on my way to work. And I was just like, I really want the world to see what I can do. You know what I'm saying? And I want to share the feeling that I had as a kid when I was watching Family Guy with my family and stuff like that, because it was just so freeing. And I felt like there are people who are sad who can experience that same thing. So I'm in the car, speeding, crying, all this and that. And then I go to work, and then I have this crazy video idea that I go home and end up filming. And then God answered that prayer and was like, I'm going to make this video big for you. And then you give them a reason to continue to watch you. Like, I'm done here. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I did. I told God that I will continue giving people a reason to watch me, whether it's for my content or whether it's just because I'm looking good doing it. You know what I'm saying? But it's just, I just felt like I had a purpose, and that was to share that feeling that I had,
And in your life, was that like the first time that you had figured out that this was a part of your purpose?
Yeah, but what's crazy? The only reason I could say all this confidently to you is because last week I had a conversation about this, and now I understand what my purpose is, because we were talking about like childhood stuff and all that. But before that, it was just, I just enjoy what I'm doing. And then I just hope that it inspires somebody to just be themselves, or just to not take life so serious. This place is crazy.
Very.
So, it's a little lighter if you know how to laugh or make yourself laugh.
Or make other people laugh.
Exactly.
Because they'll never forget you.
Yeah. So then last week, I had this conversation about like my childhood stuff and blah, 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 blah. And that is like the conclusion that I came to. So that's why now I can talk to you about it, because I just now discovered this. So this is new. You know what I'm saying? This isn't like something I've been walking around saying in past interviews or just to other people. I just found out or at least I think I just found out what my purpose is.
So after putting out, how many videos did the video go viral? What number was that for you?
I don't know, because I used to make a lot of videos before the one that went viral, like a lot. But I don't know. I can't even lie to you and give you a number, because my thing is I would just record stuff and then post it, and then record the next thing and post it. Record the next thing, post it, and then you look back and you don't post like 10 videos without even like knowing. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
And for you, this is year what of putting out content?
I would say like year 3, 2 or 3. Yeah.
It's been 3 years, 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
You've gotten to this place now.
Are you talking about 2 or 3 years from my viral
original
video?
Content, yeah.
Or when I first started filming? Yeah, it was like 2 or 3 years, and then that one video came out, and then from that point on, I've just been recording and posting ever since. But I would say I was doing it for years, like before it got big. That's what a lot of people don't know. They think you just popped up out of nowhere. And for a lot of people's success stories, there's like a whole like background of people doing stuff that's not seen. And then, boom, you got your own talk show or something like that. I said talk show because I'm looking at all this and all that stuff, and I just see a talk show. But
for you.
For you.
Well, thank you. I received that. But for you too. I mean, Tony Talks. That's the perfect name for a talk show.
I don't think I want a talk show, but fast forward. Somebody's going to use this clip. I'm going to be on my own talk show. But I don't think I want one. I'm more so creating films and like starring in films or creating films. I think that's my path. So Tony Talks, like Tony directs, Tony acts, stuff like that.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Now, are there any social media influencers, content creators that you watched and kind of, wanted to either meet or be like?
So meet, yes, Trey Melvin, and it's crazy enough, I just met him like in person, but we worked together a few times. Him, I really like Todrick Hall, but I would say that's it when it comes to who I wanted to meet. To be like, no. And I'm not saying I'm the first and da-da-da-da-da. Everyone has inspirations, but, inspirations. Yeah, I guess that's the right word. But everybody has that. I think for me, it was just, I just wanted to create and have fun creating. Eddie Murphy is somebody I wanted to be like, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, I've met the people who I watched when I was a kid.
Okay. Now, I ain't gonna lie. There are so many people out here that are doing some amazing things, and I don't know if I'm wrong for saying it. I want to meet Miss Netta.
Oh my gosh, I can see that. That would be a wreck. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, that would be real nice for you to have her here because she lives here. I thought she was in Atlanta. I thought
it was Alabama, but who knows? You know, maybe we'll figure that out and see. Yeah,
look it up later and see. But I'm sure she's somebody that you can get. Her and Charles.
We'll see. Back to you, though.
Right.
So, I want to know how your mind works, because you didn't just come out with one character. There are multiple characters that you have put out there that the people have come to know and love. How did that work? Like, what does that look like when you're sitting at home writing? Where does that inspiration come from
for each
characters?
So it's crazy. A lot of people think it's a whole like elaborate story, but it's not. It's simply just get a wig, and then whatever I think that wig would say is what I become. It's so crazy. It's literally because I like to be in costumes. Like, it's just my thing. And when I would get like all these, I literally was in a phase of getting a new wig damn near like every week. Like, it was almost like an addict thing. You know what I'm saying? I'll go to a beauty supply store and I'll be like, oh my gosh. And then this lady there would help me find different ways because she knew what I was doing, and she would give me a nice little discount because I would keep coming back. But it wasn't like a whole thing. Now, what I've learned is that all my characters are based on the female figures that are in my life. I didn't know that, but when I look at the things I say and then look at my sisters and my mom, because I'm the only boy, I would be like, okay, yeah, this is this, or this is that. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, it's just get a wig, and then I put it on my head. I'll be like, okay, I'm feeling like this. You know what I'm saying? And then I write based off of that. Or I already have a script, and then I just morph it to whatever that character would say. You know what I'm saying?
Do the ladies in your life know which wig matches them?
No. And that's such a crazy question, because they would sit here and tell you that I am nothing like them. They're like, no, this isn't me. But villains never know they're villains. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, you know, none of them know that I'm in person. Like, they know, but they won't admit that I'm being them. Like, my mom is in all of these videos. But, you know, she would be like, no, I don't see that. Oh, no. But it's like, I'm your son. You know?
I know you.
You know what I'm saying? But, yeah.
So you spoke about family a lot. And the first time I got to come out and support you at your screening, I noticed there was a whole bunch of family that came through.
Yeah.
Which, you know, it was a beautiful thing to see the love and support. Now, for you, on a night that was so big for you in your career, how important was it to see not only the people looking at the screen and enjoying what you had put out, but to look back and see different members of your family there supporting you?
Let me tell you. So that was my family's first time experiencing like a Tony Talks kind of event or thing, except for another event that David helped with. But other than that, it's like that was there and all of them were there. You know what I'm saying? And then let me tell you a story that no one knows. So my dad...
You heard it here first.
Right. My dad, he couldn't make it, right? Well, he told me he couldn't make it because he's a mover. So he was like, he was out of town on his way back, but he was in traffic. So he ended up making it like I mean, the movie was over. I was on stage, like, you know, doing the whole Q&A and stuff. And apparently I didn't see because I was intentionally not looking at my family because I was an emotional wreck. So I was like, I'm not going to look at them. But he came in last minute in his work uniform, very movie extra, and came in there and like sat down like on the very end so nobody could like see him and all that stuff. And it was so emotional for me. I kid you not. Like, literally, when I got done, you know, talking and holding in tears from everything else, I went over there, saw him, and it was just, it's like one of those scenes where like you're at a dance recital and your dad can't make it, but then he shows up and then you're just like, oh my God, that's how that was. But to see my family there was just a beautiful thing. It genuinely was. Like, I was just like, oh my gosh, I cannot look at y'all because I don't have the best cry. So I didn't want to like break down and like, you know, I can't talk when I'm crying and all this stuff. So I was just like, this isn't the moment for that. But it was very special and I will always remember it.
Yeah. Now let's rewind a little bit. So you're doing these characters, you're putting out this content. Then you get to a place where you're like, you know what? I want to take this from social media and I want to put this on a screen. And you write a musical. Yeah. So tell us how that came to be.
So 2 reasons. The first reason is because I pursued acting prior to social media. So I've always wanted to be on the bigger screen. But God was like, okay, well, hold on. I'm going to give you this small screen. Let me see how you do. And then, you know, we'll do the bigger screen. The second reason was actually my PR guy, David. He told me to make I forgot how the conversation went, but he basically told me that I should create something bigger. And I've always wanted to, but I was like kind of like scared a little bit. So
what?
Exactly. I don't know. It's so crazy, but I think I was scared a little bit. And him saying that I think was confirmation for me. That was like, okay, now it's time. Whether you're ready or not, just do it, you know? So then I did it, and then now we're here. But I think me wanting to be on the screen prior to helped with that decision also. But without him, I think I would have still been waiting for someone to say, do this or create this. And it had to be someone that I cared about. It couldn't just be somebody that follows me. It had to be somebody, and I care about him. So
trust, obviously, because people don't listen to people that they don't trust.
Exactly.
So from the time that you started writing the script to the time it was actually on the screen, how long did that process take?
It wasn't too long. Let me tell you something. I moved way too fast for myself, and I I was rushing a lot of people around me. But I wrote the script, I would say in like a month, if that. And then I spoke at the Atlanta Film Festival, and I met the production company there. And then they was like, we can make this happen for you. I was like, okay. And then they helped me make it happen. I already knew the actors that I wanted to cast for it, so that part was very easy. The dancers, I held an audition, and then the dancers came and showed up and showed out. And we filmed it all in a week and a half. Wow. And then I, unfortunately, but I'm very fortunate that I was able to, edited the entire project. And then that took like a month, if that. Really, it took like a week. But I was being a perfectionist, and I wanted to go back and work with what I was given and make it the best I can. And so it was fast, needless to say.
So, you know, it might not be rushing. It just might be alignment. Everything happened how it was supposed to happen. You met the people. You got the confirmation from, you know. So that's how it was supposed to happen. So Boss Up, the musical. Now, it was, what do they say? It was a key. It was funny. It was exciting. It was, you know, it made you think about yourself. You know, a lot of people could see parts of themselves in your lead character.
I love that, yeah.
You know, I was sitting there like, damn, man, people do things and they wonder things. But that was a very thought-provoking yet entertaining piece of work.
I just swallowed. Hopefully you didn't hear that in this mic.
We'll see. We'll see.
I be hating when you can hear that. But it was a fun, like, I wanted to tell a serious story, but in a way that I know how to do it, which is
your brand.
Yeah, like, you know, I didn't want people just being all, because it could get depressing. It's who you are without, you know, your mask, or who you are without what you tell people you are. So I wanted to tell that story, but in a way I knew how to.
So tell us a little bit about the musical.
Yes. So The musical surrounds one of my lead characters. Her name is Cassandra, and she's a boss at everything that she does. Now, unfortunately, things turn, and she gets that title of being a boss taken away from her. Mm-hmm. You learn, and that happens in the beginning of the movie, and you learn that that's kind of all she knew. You know what I'm saying? All she knows is being a boss and, you know, running people. She doesn't feel talented in any other area, especially not singing and dancing. So she has to go through this whole inward journey discovering who she is without that title. And that takes her deceased mother coming in, and, you know, that's a story in its own. And then her kind of discovering the worth in the people around her, you know? And then from that point on, you know, how it ends. But, you know, she ends up, it's a happily ever after in the end. But I felt like it was just important to tell that because I was experiencing that of like, who am I without being a content creator? You know what I'm saying? Anytime somebody will ask me like, you know, who are you or what do you do? I'm an influencer, I'm a content creator. And for the longest, that was okay for me. But then I started meeting different people like David who would sit there and be like, who are you? Like without all that. And I was like, oh my gosh, like why did you open that door? And now I have to sit here and think about it. And I'm grateful that it did happen because it allowed me to tell a story through what I do. So
what I want to know is thinking about who you are without that. Have you thought about that after the film actually came out? And the reason that I asked that is because I sat there after it was done and I sat and watched and listened to every person on that stage that Angelica Ross. Yeah. Shout out to that. That was amazing. By the way. Wow.
Yes.
When she went and put that microphone in these different people's face and they talked about you and the opportunity that you gave them.
Yeah.
I sat there and, you know, I almost got choked up a little bit because RJ, the choreographer, you know, was somebody who sat there and said, when you guys had the conversation, there was no hesitation in you believing in him, but also paying him his worth, which had never happened before. So you provided an opportunity for people to feel value in ways that they have not felt value before.
Yeah.
So when you sit and think about something like that, how does that make you feel about yourself and the journey that you're on?
Well, you never know that that's how you're affecting people. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what was so difficult for me in that moment because I was like, damn, y'all never told me any of this. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it's just an everyday conversation, you know? And when he said that, I was like, oh my gosh, why would you do this? You know I'm such an emotional wreck right now. But he, just being honest, and he didn't tell a lie. You know, the one thing I wanted to make sure within this entire project, because let's be real, he was more so talking about the dancers. The actors could have gotten paid more. But I couldn't afford like you know what I'm saying? But the dancers, I wanted to make sure that, I'm not gonna say that they were priority, but I wanted to just make sure that the story was truly being told through, because it's a musical. So I want to make sure that the story is accurately being told through dance, through music, and all that stuff. I know those actors are going to bring it regardless. And like I said, I have relationships with each and every one of them. But he was mainly referring to all of the dancers. I made sure that, like, I paid them pretty much. I paid them at the end of the week. Even for rehearsal, they got paid the same day. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was making sure that they were taken care of because I didn't want no stories coming out saying Tony don't pay his, like, this is my first project. I didn't want no rumors. I didn't want nothing like that.
No bad business associated.
No, not for your first one. I want people to come back. You know what I'm saying? So RJ, I have so much respect for him. You know what I'm saying? Outside of the film and all that stuff. And for him to say that, I was like, oh my gosh. But it felt amazing, is needless to say.
Now, when it came to the project, you mentioned during the event that pretty much all of this came from you as far as the funding portion. Now, how much do you have to believe in yourself to put every bit of you mentally, emotionally, and financially into a project that you know that you can do something with, but you don't know how the world's going to receive it?
Well, with my videos and with what I create, my mentality is not what the world will take from it or like how they will rate. My goal is to inspire the younger version of myself that was sitting there watching Family Guy. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That is the goal for me. And with Boss Up, that was what I wanted to do. Now, yes, I wanted other people to feel like, you know, Cassandra's story and to relate that to themselves. But that's not from a standpoint of like let me try to find the things that I can clock, or let me see, you know, if he did this right, or da-da-da. I wasn't creating for that. I don't know how to like word that the best way, but I wasn't creating it for the audience, if that makes any sense. So that wasn't in my mind. What was in my mind is what would happen after I spent all this money, and could I get any of it back? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I've accepted that it was one of those things where, okay, this is your first film. The next one you'll learn. You don't have to put all your money into it. And like I said on that stage, it's a cute story to tell people, to be like, oh my God, I paid $4 in my pocket, da, da, da. But like, I would never do that again. You know what I'm saying? I would find ways where I don't have to do that. Because even with my life now, if I buy a new camera or buy lights or anything like that, I never spend my money. I wait until I do a promotion or something like that and I spend their money. You know what I'm saying? So that way you save your money and, you know, you do what you gotta do. But it was an honor, and I thank God for being able to give me the mindset, the work ethic and all that stuff to raise that amount of money and to have, cause you know, I could have spent that on a new car, a house, you know, and stuff like that. But to have the mind to be like, no, I'm going to spend it on something that I want to build, you know what I'm saying? I'm grateful for that.
Investing in yourself, but because you did that, mm-hmm. other people saw how serious you were.
Yeah.
The musical, the quality was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
You know, it was aesthetically appealing. It mm-hmm. was, you know, all of that good stuff. And then you've partnered with Revry TV.
Yes.
So how did that happen?
You know, just like I said on stage, I be trying to make it a big elaborate story, but it really isn't. It's one of those things where I don't remember how I got in contact with Revry, but I did in a previous way or whatnot. But I wanted Boss Up to be on a platform that represented love and that represented being yourself and, you know, just showing up in the world as who you are. And I feel like Revry is that. And when I reached out to them, they responded in like seconds. You know what I'm saying? So it was very easy to work with them and to put my stuff on their platform. So I'm grateful for it. But it wasn't like a huge kind of like grand gesture or anything like that. It was just, I know what I wanted and Revry knew what they wanted and we met in the middle.
So far when it comes to the partnership, mm-hmm. The musical is now available.
Yes.
So are there any plans for any additional content to come out?
Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Just like my content, I make videos damn near, if not every day, every other day. I'm going to treat this project the same exact way. Mm-hmm. Like, the musical is out. It's doing its thing. It's my problem child. It is out there being bad, doing what it does. Now it's time to have another baby. I think I want to get pregnant again. So I think it's time. You know what I'm saying? So I want to be one of those people that is just popping out kids. Now, you know, each kid is going to have quality. You know what I'm saying? And each kid's going to be thought of. And I'm going to give them a nice name, raise them accordingly. It's not going to just be like have a kid and then just go have another one 2 days after. But
you're sounding like another T name who
Stop it.
has done the same thing.
That's why I had to make sure I had, because when I was saying that, it sounded like another T. And I was like, we're not going to do that. So,
I mean, the other T is a billionaire.
Exactly. Okay. And I'm not trying to sit here and ruin any future opportunities. So I don't know what T you're talking about. But all I'm saying is that
you have a way of doing things.
Exactly.
I got you.
Exactly. So I just want to make sure that I reiterate, I'm going to be working fast, but I'm going to make sure it's quality. You know what I'm saying? So, I had fun on this project. It was a headache all the way, I'm not going to lie. But I learned a lot of lessons that I'm very grateful for.
Have you exhaled yet?
Every time I try to exhale, then it's something new that pops up, if I'm being honest. But anytime I go in the shower, I stay in there for a good minute and I breathe in there. But when I get out, I gotta hold my breath and start handling stuff. But yeah, but I'm grateful for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was stressing out about it, but like, I just feel like with me being young and going through all this and all that stuff, God is surely preparing me to handle bigger things, So I'm grateful for it, and I welcome it, unfortunately.
It's going to increase and expand that territory.
Ain't that crazy? But like they say, and like David told me earlier, bigger things, bigger problems. But, but then I become bigger, my mindset's bigger, so I'll be able to handle those bigger problems.
And just keep good people, great people.
Oh, yeah.
Like David.
Yes.
On your team, and you will, you'll go far.
That's
further than you already are. You've already gone, pretty far.
I appreciate that.
So when it comes to the LGBT community, when it comes to young Black boys and girls, to get to a space where you are, what are some of the things that you've learned on your journey that you feel like you can share with them?
Well, believe it or not, I will let them know they're already there. It's so cliche, but the reason I say that, right, is because when I'm making one video, I put everything into that one video. And then I make another video. I put everything into that video. Make another video, put everything into that. And then I look back and it's like, okay, I got 3 videos. Didn't even, I'm focusing on that one video. A lot of people come to me and they're, referencing all videos that I made. I never know what they're talking about. But I just agree, laugh, we have a good time. I say that to say I'm very present in what I'm doing right then and there. And I feel like if people focus on that instead of focusing I'm not going to say where they want to be, but people's head gets crowded with everything that they want to do and what they want to be instead of just focusing and doing your best at whatever is next. You know what I'm saying? And I've learned, and although I've been a very sidetracked, I've learned that skill, I think, at a young age, thank God. And that is something that I would motivate younger people, is just to focus on what is next, and that is it. You know what I'm saying? So when people are asking you, so what is your 5-year plan? Be confident in saying you don't know. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? My next thing is what I'm going to make tomorrow. I'm going to do that really good. And then opportunities are going to come to me because of how good that was. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that I would say, but I would word it a little differently that they will understand. But yeah.
So transparency when you're on your journey. Because people would look at you now and be like, okay, if I'm looking at Instagram, you are sitting at, over 1 million followers and all the other social media platforms. And people, they measure success in number by social media following. Yeah. So for you, being transparent and inspiring other people, how important is that?
I think that's everything, honestly. I think saying it's important is an understatement. I would say it's everything, because transparency, I feel is what gets people in the door. You know what I'm saying? Being honest. Now, you ain't got to tell people your social and all that stuff, but just being honest about everything in a sense of if someone asks you, what are you doing? Or like I said earlier, if someone asks you, what is your 5-year plan? And you don't know, don't sit here and try to finesse it. People will love if you're just okay, well, honestly, I know what I'm doing tomorrow. And that's enough for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm actually content with just that. And I feel that will push you more. Now, you got big corporate companies and stuff like that that'll be no, we need da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But we are in a new generation, a new age, and things aren't the same anymore. You know what I'm saying? So the way I see it is just be different, be transparent, and be all you are, even if it won't be accepted by the right people. Cause fuck them. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be accepted by somebody, and that's all that matters. So I don't know. I just say transparency is everything. Now, that's something I'm working on, though, if I'm being honest with you. I'm not just everything. I still am working on my own form of transparency, but in other areas, I would say.
I mean, you don't have to give them everything, but sometimes what you give them is enough. What you've given today is enough, and it's more than what other people got yesterday, and it's going to be something that can inspire more amazing little people that you can hire in your next production.
I love that.
Absolutely. So I appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
You know, this was amazing. I've learned a few things, and I look forward to seeing everything that you accomplish tomorrow.
There you go.
The day after.
You learn it.
And you know, even 5 years. I'm gonna just jump and say 5 years, okay?
Yeah.
But we'll look forward tomorrow first. So can you do me a favor? Let the people know where they can continue to support you.
Yes.
And why they should support you and Boss Up the Musical.
I love that. Okay, that's the first. So you can support me. I am Tony Talks everywhere on all platforms except for TikTok. That is officially Tony Talks, but I am Tony Talks everywhere. Why you should support me? I feel like this interview was kind of enough, but if it's not enough, it's perfectly fine. You will see me though. So it's either, you know, you decide to jump on that or not. I would love for you to. It's a great house to be in, you know what I'm saying? But this house is huge, so you're going to see it wherever you are. So.
And I appreciate you again, and I wish you so much success. And I look forward to continuing to support you.
Absolutely. And you too. I look forward to supporting you in your future talk show.
Okay. I receive that.
There you go. 5 years.
Lord, I'm waiting on you to increase my territory.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. Amen.
I might need to get a David on my team. But we'll talk about that later. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to BLK Talk. Make sure you guys follow Tony, and we'll be back with another amazing conversation very soon.
Bye. Okay.